Thanks for joining us once again in another episode of the Transformation Series by Paragon Solstice, Inc. My name is Emily Rentas, owner and founder of Paragon Solstice, a coaching and consulting company dedicated to individuals, businesses, and organizations to work through transformation and resilience in their life and business while creating a pattern of excellence at its highest peak. Today, I have the honor of speaking with Haseena from Faith, Hope, and Spirit, LLC, who joins us from Chicago, who is going to be sharing her own personal story of transformation and resilience and what got her started in her current path. Hi, Haseena. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, I'm excited to be here today. I'm so excited. I love to talk. And people be like, you need to be quiet. I know I do learn how to listen too, but I love to talk too.
It's good to tell our stories. Storytelling is a very powerful human thing. From the beginning of civilizations, we all used to get together in circles and telling stories. So it's important to tell stories of ourselves and also of others.
Correct.
So Haseena, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you're an author, a speaker, a coach, and a trainer. Tell us a little bit about what got you started and what you currently are doing in your career.
Well, we all have a story if you go back to our background. And my story dates back to high school with my gym teacher. And so I always loved to read and write. And she used to see me going home to school, and I would just have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper folded up, and she would say, "What are you doing with your life?" And I said, "I'm just gonna go to home economics and get a trade, and I'm gonna follow my sisters and brothers." I had the follow me syndrome. And she says, "No, you're more than that." And it was because of her that I went on to college. And so from college, I promised myself I would go get my master's degree in 2 years, and I stuck to that promise. So when everybody else was going to party, they were like, "What you doing?" "I'm going home to write my paper. I'm going home to study." I felt so, it was like, I just felt like I was missing out, but then I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I knew that this was going to help me become a better person. So I pursued and got my master's degree. But then from there, I worked in different careers, and I've always been, I don't fit in a box, because I just believe in people so much, and that we are to value people, and we are to look into their heart and give a hand first. And so it launched me on my path to become a speaker, trainer, and coach. And then a book writer. I started that because I went to discipleship one-on-one school at my church, and my pastor kept saying, "Will you answer the call?" He kept saying, "Will you answer the call?" And I kept looking at him like, "What are you talking about? Answer what call?" So I was like, somebody go call me on phone. So I was always writing daily word messages to people to just inspire them. And I wrote my first book from that class, and it was called Reflections from Within. And then I wrote my second one, Messages from the Spirit. And then I released my third book this year, Created to Soar, because I've always had a passion to write and read. I always had a book in my hand. So now I just want to help others, inspire them to believe in that vision that they have for themselves, and to believe that people matter. As leaders, you have 8 hours every day that you can influence a person. Mm-hmm. And it's for you to value that person. Mm-hmm. Bring them into your team and help make your vision and your picture bigger. Don't hinder them, but help them, and they'll help you.
And that's so powerful what you're saying as a leader about empowering others, that just because you're in a position of leadership, to empower somebody does not disempower you or take away your effectiveness as a leader, right? That no. If you grow an army of leaders, that you want to see them soar, you want to see them kind of rise. And I think that is something that happens a lot in our current culture. Leadership, the idea of leadership is very top down of, I'm the one who's overseeing everything, instead of understanding that empowering everybody to be a leader.
Because we're all leaders though. Don't matter what your title is. Leadership is not based on the title. And when I hear someone, I had a boss one time that banned just, I am. And I was like, what in the heck is wrong with you?
Whoa.
Like, that's not a leader, that's a tyrant.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so the more that I saw that, the more disengaged I became. And I just like, I want to help people understand like you just said, we need to empower, build up, mentor, be a ladder holder. That's what a leader does.
And you were also talking about, you had this, you were just writing just because you love doing it. And then you had these nudges and pushes to become an author, but also you just published a book this year in the midst of COVID. How was that process? How was that for you?
Well, I was working on my book, and then when the COVID hit, I have to. So I'm a gym club. I'm a health club rat. I mean, I go to the gym. I used to go 4 or 5 days a week. So when they shut down the gym, you should have saw me. I thought I was going to die. I was like, oh my God, the gym is shut down. I mean, I was buying dumbbells, about the different things around the house to use, but I love cardio. So my husband, he loves to work out too. So I found and have got the appreciation of the outdoors. I love running and walking outside. I've walked in the snow, walked on ice, because it is so refreshing to get out and clear your mind, and you just have a much better perspective, and you become focused. Mm-hmm. And so that was my thing. I had to transform from being in my mindset of I had to be in the gym on the bike or on the weights, to understanding that there's a better way and there's another way. And I didn't even know it. I see people now, and I've lost at least probably about 15, 20 pounds. Mm. And I was never a big woman, don't get me wrong, but I'm toned down because of the fact that I have found another avenue, and because I broadened my perspective and my mindset to see that I was stuck on a track, like that commercial you would hear. I wake up in the morning, I have breakfast and coffee, I make my husband breakfast, I go to work, I come back home, I make dinner, and I was in that same rut. I wake up in the morning, I go to work, I go to the gym, I come home, I cook dinner, I go to bed, I wake up in the morning. I was in that same kind of rut, and we cannot allow ourselves to get into that rut. And the whole thing is you have to be uncomfortable. When you become uncomfortable, I get so energized because my brain is just so busy thinking of ideas, and my creativity just comes out because I find other ways of looking at the picture, not seeing the same
opportunity, the open-mindedness of this is uncomfortable, but I'm going to keep my mindset open to possibilities, to
yes,
thinking. And that is definitely a trait in building resilience, the open-mindedness, the optimism. Yeah, yes. This sucks. This feels terrible and icky. I can't get to the gym. And, it's like you said, it's a mindset thing. People who work hard in exercises, they have a certain regimen. They have a certain state of focus and flow that you only think that you can achieve by doing this particular exercise. But you learned otherwise. You found a different method, and you even lost weight in the process.
Yes, because now, I wear a weight vest. I wear, I had ankle weights. I experimented with a lot of different things because I just wanted to challenge myself. Because the whole thing is, I loved a challenge. I get energized. Everything. I know I can do this better. I know I can find another way. And that's the whole thing about resilience and transformation, because you grow as you do these things, and you are so filled with joy and fulfillment. You're like, it's like that Rocky song. I did it. And what I'm saying? So I just felt like, man, it really opened my eyes. And that's what I love to do. I help people. I want people to open their eyes. I want to touch your heart. I want to help you open your mind to seeing a new way and a different way, mm-hmm. and a better way.
Mm-hmm. What have been some experiences for you where you maybe thought there wasn't a way, and you ended up, I know that you mentioned the gym, but also what's another way in terms of, building your business or pushing through a crisis? What have been other instances where you found yourself like, there's no way that there's an answer here?
Well, I think about, we get stuck in a career, a job. That's a perfect example to me. And that's how I launched my own business, because I would go to work every day. And I was that person when Sunday came, I was dreading that alarm when it went off on Monday morning. I had to go into an office, and then I counted the days until Friday came, and then I was so overjoyed. And then Saturday I was good. And then I would be depressed on Sunday because I had to go to work on Monday. And so I said to myself, but I'm rushing away my life. I'm miserable. And if I don't get myself under control, I'm going to allow this environment to make me a bitter person, a very unhappy person, probably an unhealthy person too. Mm-hmm. So I have to find another way. And I found that you can do your own business. You can write a book. You can do whatever you need to find out what sets you on fire. What makes you get out of bed every morning that goes, yes, let me think what else I can do today to add value to my business and to another person. Most importantly, I love to reach out and talk to people. So I have my calendar at least 4 or 5 days a week. I'm talking to someone new and I'm just reaching out to them because the whole point is that I believe that we have to not get our mindset on thinking that a job is the only avenue. And I'm not saying a job should be a resource. I mean, but if you want to work a job, it's okay too. But if you're unhappy, don't think that's your only way. So my story was, I found that I needed to become an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And I needed to get out and forge my own path.
And you mentioned something earlier where you were talking about, I was going along these different jobs and I was making myself fit into a box. And
Correct.
A lot of entrepreneurs, when you all hear our stories, you always hear this history of like looking at these the new job is like, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one. They get me, I'm going to make an impact, I'm ready. And then 6 months in, you're like,
right. Like, yeah, I'm ready to go. How can I get up out of here? But and the thing about it, you can work a job, but then don't allow the job to work you. Yes. You use it as a resource. And that's what my point is, because I'm going to be a proponent of you can work, but just don't make that your only way.
Yes. And not to make it your identity. And I think that we saw a lot of that in COVID when people lost jobs, is that, especially if you've been working at a job for so many years and you have so much experience being there, and then you got laid off, a lot of folks tie themselves to their identity, that this job is who I am. I am less than a person because I don't have a job. What would you say to those who are maybe struggling with that, that cliff off of maybe you're not at the same job that you used to be at, or something got changed, or a responsibility got changed that maybe was something that was yours and now that's not yours? What would you recommend to those who are struggling with that?
I would say open your mind, because everything happens for a reason and a purpose. So yes, you probably became settled into that old way, that old job, but then something needed to happen to push you into this new area so that you would wake up and maybe reflect and pause and think about, well, what is it that I really do enjoy? And maybe this is a path that you should be on, and leave behind that feeling comfortable and becoming, settling for that, because that really wasn't for you. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. And there's an experience that you need to, and knowledge that you need to get from that, because it's going to add to where you really ultimately need to go, because life is a journey and we need to enjoy everything that we pick up along the way. Those nuggets that we get adds to our character, adds to who we become. And you need to embrace that person and never think it's too late. You could be 60 years old and still want to go to school. Mm-hmm. Don't ever let someone tell you that it's too late. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a woman at my church, she's 92 years old and gets around better than I do. And she said, I'm not done yet.
Oh, I love hearing stories like that.
So you are not done yet. You're only done yet if you allow your mind to put that into your consciousness, where you say to yourself, I'm done. Then that's what you're going to have, is I'm done every day. Instead, you're going to say, I can do this. I can go to school. Because right now I'm thinking to myself, what is my next? I mean, there's different things I'm doing that I never would have thought I would have done. Mm-hmm. But I believe that in that higher purpose that I'm here for, and I'm going to follow my dreams and my passion and my visions.
And you touched on something that's very important in the entrepreneurship journey, is that you have an end goal in mind. Like, I'm going to make it, I'm going to get there. I don't know what's going to happen along the way, or what that's going to look like exactly. And that's a lot of uncertainty that a lot of people struggle with when they're starting their business. The uncertainty of what does this look like? You know, it's not packaged nicely. When you're working for other people, you don't see a lot of the back end stuff. You don't see the accounting and payroll and the HR stuff and kind of all the legal stuff that goes on behind a company running it, right? When you're on an entrepreneurship journey, now you got to think of everything, right? You have to think of, you know, your accounting, your legal, your operations, all those things. In the path of uncertainty, it could be very difficult for folks to lose their way or think, this is so hard. What would you say to those aspiring entrepreneurs who are in the midst of saying, but Haseena, it's so hard. It's so hard.
But a job is hard too. It's uncertainty there too, because you don't know if you're going to be there tomorrow.
Exactly.
It's not promised. Look at the pandemic was a perfect example of that.
Exactly.
So to be an entrepreneur, but understand that you control the path that you take. So if you sit down and cross your legs and look at TV and bury your head in the sand, you've just controlled the destiny and the path that you're going down. And then if as an entrepreneur, but then you empowering yourself, look at how much joy. I mean, you just like ecstatic when you reach that milestone. A thing that you said about goals. Goals is not the end game. The goal is the growth that you want to get to. And then you set a new goal to get to the next level of growth. So don't view goals as then you're making them finite when they should be infinite, because growth is forever.
Forever, until we're not here.
Correct. So we have to open our minds to, yes, it's uncomfortable, but then on the other side of uncomfortable is success, fulfillment, because you're going to look back on that uncomfortable period and go, man, I did it. And you're going to be so overjoyed that you're going to sit around there and shout to the rafters, woo-wee, woo-wee, wee, oh, get. And you're going to be sitting around there like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with him? You're going to be so happy at the progress that you made. And then I want to speak to that, because we think that progress means that you got to climb a mountain. It could be a baby step, but you made progress. It's consistency is the key.
Incremental, consistent.
Yes.
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 Consistency. Yes. And that goes with, you know, when we're breaking habits, when we're trying to create new ways of doing things, we're so accustomed to doing things a certain way. And now we have to break that neural pathway of like, oh no, you know, we have to get up in the morning, you know, at a certain time, or you have to get that exercise in, or you have to sit there and complete, you know, the accounting spreadsheet or whatever it is that, you know, for folks who may not like that stuff when it comes to business, but then they like all the other fun stuff, right? There's also the flip side.
Yeah.
All the not so sexy things about a business.
Gotta do it both.
Haseena, I know that you have a summit coming up in September, at September 25th, right?
Correct.
The fall summit, where you're going to be looking at renewing perspectives, releasing your past, and remembering your vision. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what people can expect from it?
So the whole thing is, okay, we've gone through, we'll be 3/4 through the year. So we're in our fourth quarter by the time that the summit comes around. So we have to look at what's worked, what has not worked, what we need to do in terms of renewing our mind, renewing our perspective, and what mindset do I need to now press for? Because the year is not over, but what goal do you have for yourself for the next 3 months, for the last quarter? Because you can still make that push. But then also I want you to start thinking about 2022. You don't plan in 2022 on January, you start planning for 2022 in the fourth quarter. So it's all of getting you in perspective, helping you get on the path of where you need to go. Start planning now. Forward thinking. Think about the future. Let go of the past. The pandemic is over with. You know, we need to get out of that mindset of I have to wait for someone to tell me what to do or what I need to be doing. And instead, I need to think about the things I need to be doing myself. And so we're going to offer 6 different workshops. There's 3 tracks. We'll have a thing on money matters, work-life balance. And then the third one will be on your mindset. And so we'll be 2 workshops in each section. And then also a portion of the proceeds is going to go to a charity we have not selected the charity yet, but it'll be either domestic violence or a youth program, because those are two things that are near and dear to my heart. We're going to give out raffle prizes to like Starbucks, Chick-fil-A. So this is going to be a fun event, and it's fast paced. It's only 4 hours. And so we'll have vendors where you go in the rooms and spend a little money, get something for yourself. But it's also going to be networking, because I do a monthly networking group called CC2T, where we come together to just, foster growth and development and new things that we need to be on the cutting edge of. And it's just an extension of that. But we're coming together to get our mind ready for what we need to be doing for our future.
Mm-hmm. Powerful. Haseena, so beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today. Much success and blessings to you and your business and everything that you continue to do. All the information to how you can contact Haseena and learn more about her work and the things that she does, right in the description box. And I hope that you guys can catch the next episode. Thank you, Haseena. I appreciate you coming and talking with us.
I thank you for this opportunity. I mean, I just feel so much sharpened and enlightened. I just enjoy talking with kindred spirits. It just fills me up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Storytelling is definitely great for the human connection and mind.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.